Good morning, Unity of Chattanooga. Reverend Christy Snow here from Charlotte. So good to be with you again this morning. Thought I'd start us off with a song written by two friends of mine from Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada, Barb Samuel and Neil Clausen. The song is called I Say Yes, and we're going to talk more about that today. When love comes knocking at my door, I say yes, yes. When love comes dancing across the floor, I say yes, yes. When I need a little more of what I'm looking for, I know that I am blessed. So I say yes, yes, yes. When freedom comes knocking at my door, I say yes, yes. When freedom comes dancing across the floor, yes, yes. When I need a little more of what I'm looking for, I know that I am blessed. So I say yes, yes, yes. Now what about when things come knocking at our door that we kind of want to say no to sometimes? I'm going to talk today about saying yes to it all. So how about we just say when the world comes knocking? Sing along with me. Here we go. When the world comes knocking at my door, I say yes, yes. When the world comes dancing across the floor, I say yes, yes. When I need a little more of what I'm looking for, I know that I am blessed. So I say yes, yes, yes. Sing it with me. When love comes knocking, when love comes knocking at my door, I say yes, yes. When love comes dancing across the floor, I say yes, yes. When I need a little more of what I'm looking for, I know that I am blessed. So I say yes, yes, yes. When I need a little more of what I'm looking for, I know that I am blessed. So I say yes, yes, yes. So I say yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes to all of it.
Well, good morning, everyone. You have tuned in to Unity of Chattanooga's Sunday celebration service. My name is Penny Worth, and I welcome you this morning once again through our virtual doors to this incredible community of family, friendship, and spiritual goodness. As a matter of fact, during the Facebook broadcast last Sunday, we had one new person comment by saying, "What a beautiful group of uplifting souls," and I could not agree more. Speaking of comments, whether you are here for the first time or whether you join us every week, please share and greet each other in the comments section. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And you can also share this broadcast with your family and friends who you think might benefit from Unity's uplifting message or even be encouraged by it. We are a philosophy of gentle words, silent prayer, and personal growth for positive, practical, spiritual living. We welcome all people and we honor all paths to God. We are here to provide uplifting and inspirational messages to support you on your personal spiritual path. Today's daily word is comforted, and the affirmation is, I am enfolded in God's comforting peace. So let's take a moment now and go into prayer and connect ourselves with God's peace. We begin by closing our outer eyes so we can turn our focus within. Take a nice, deep, in-feeling breath and slowly release it. As we relax our bodies, we quiet our minds and just let your heart rest in the peaceful presence of the living God. as we tune into the activity of divine spirit within us, begin to feel the fullness of God's unconditional love, gently wrapping you up and filling you with the awareness of how blessed you really are. It is God's good pleasure to give us the kingdom, and Spirit does not withhold anything from us, because Spirit delights in filling our lives with as much love and goodness and abundance as we are willing to receive. What areas in your life are you willing to shine more of God's grace to allow your greater expression of God's love to flow through you as greater joy, greater peace, greater healing, and greater wisdom? All you have to do is be willing and open. So, in what ways are you being called forth to let your light shine? In what ways are you being called to be an expression of God's love? In what ways are you being called to radiate peace and joy into the world? In what ways are you being called to comfort and heal and uplift others? And in what ways are you being called to create the experience of heaven on earth? So as you contemplate this, take one more deep infilling breath, knowing that this in-breath is filled with the inspiration of Spirit reminding us to be the activity of love within ourselves and all around us. You are God's beloved, here to do amazing and wonderful things. And for this we say, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. Today, I am pleased to welcome back Reverend Christy Snow as both our guest musician and our guest speaker, who not only shares her incredible musical talents with us, but also shares some wonderful words of wisdom that I know you are going to find useful. She is an ordained religious science minister with over 20 years of experience in pulpit ministry. She does musical concerts, workshops, and retreats for New Thought centers. Her talks are filled with real-life anecdotes that are always relatable and empower the listener to step into a greater degree of living. She currently serves at her own church called the Center for Spiritual Awakening in Charlotte, North Carolina. She has also released 14 CDs that range from folk rock to spiritual chants to native style flute and meditation. So I invite you now to grab that cup of coffee or tea and sit back and relax. Here again is Reverend Christy Snow.
So let's talk about saying yes to life, shall we? But not just the parts that we're so excited to say yes to. I'm talking about saying yes to all of it. When I was speaking with Penny about this opportunity to speak with you all, and she suggested actually a talk around saying yes to capital ALL, all of life, and even share with me a quote that she liked by Carolyn Mace that says, "I wish that I could tell you that life was like a Hallmark movie, but it's not. Life will be filled with challenges that will bring up the parts of you that do not know God yet." The parts of you that do not know God yet. What if we looked at the hard times in our lives as wonderful opportunities to know God better? And I started thinking about all of that. And also, I couldn't help but laugh when I thought of the Hallmark movie reference, because really, more often than not, our lives are like a Lifetime movie. Those have a lot more drama, a lot more ups and downs than the Hallmark movies, right? But what if we could just welcome it all? Welcome it all. So this talk was originally scheduled for December, and then it was the end of January, and now here we are at the end of February, and I'm finally able to be with you. So we talked about this talk and the title, the subject matter, saying yes to life, saying yes to all of life. And I even ordered a book, not related to that conversation, but I just saw that Pema Chodron had a new book, and I ordered it. So I talked to Penny about this talk in December, and then a few days before Christmas, I get my book, Pema Chodron's book, Welcoming the Unwelcome. And then my Christmas present, or actually December 26th, I woke up with COVID, full-blown COVID, like all of the symptoms that you can possibly have with COVID, I had, right? And so going through all of that and thinking, what if we could really welcome it all? Welcome it all. Welcome it all. Reminds me of Rumi, right? The guest house poem about you never know what gifts are coming. It's a wonderful poem. I don't have it in front of me, so look it up, but it's really great. But all about whatever is coming to us is coming for us, coming through us and for us. It's a gift. And so, my COVID experience. Here I am reading this book about welcoming everything, and I'm having this thing that I don't want to welcome. I just want it to be over. And Pema talks about living with an awakened heart, and what that means is living from love. It's living to help others. It's living in a recognition of our connection to everything, and trusting in our own goodness, which her teacher, Rinpoche, called trusting in our unstoppable brilliance. But to do that, we have to take time to stop and fully experience what is happening in our lives. If we're really going to live from knowing we're connected to everything, that there is this unstoppable brilliance moving through us, this divine love, divine wisdom, divine intelligence moving through us, expressing as us. If we want to experience and express and know all that intimately, then we have to introduce those little pieces of us that don't quite know that piece of God yet. Those little places of fear, of discomfort, those little places of habitual thinking, those little places that aren't ready, that feel if I embrace everything, it's going to swallow me whole. I can't do that. I can't lean into all of life because some of it's too scary. It's too painful. I remember when my father passed away in 2004. It was a sudden loss. I wasn't prepared. If you can be prepared for such a thing, I was not. And 9 months later, on his birthday, my best friend died, also suddenly. And when my dad died, it was too much, I thought. I can't lean into this. I can't embrace this. I can't be with this. So I pushed it down and packed it away. And then 9 months later, my best friend, on my dad's birthday, the synchronicities there were not lost on me, because all of the things that I didn't heal the first time had now resurfaced with gusto. All of the pain, all the fear of discomfort was raging back at me. My mentor, Reverend Dr. Lisa Stewart, called me when I was planning my best friend's memorial, and said, "How are you doing?" And I went through my list of all the things that I had done with working with the family, working with the funeral home, working with the house, and she said, "How are you doing?" And I went through my list again, and finally on the third time she said, "Stop. Breathe. How are you doing?" And I lost it. You see, I had been pushing it all down, pushing it all back. I didn't think I could handle it because I was running from that potential overwhelm of discomfort, that consuming grief. But what I've learned is that the depth of our grief is equal to the depth of our love. And so I sat with it and I was able to be with it. But if we aren't able to be with life, we just start creating more and more grooves in our brain. She talks in this book about the grooves in our brains deepen with each repetitive thought and form habitual patterns, beliefs, and attitudes. Now, that's what we teach in New Thought, right? In Unity and Science of Mind. But it's important that when those perpetual thoughts are, "I can't handle that. It's too much. That will consume me," or a fear, "I can't get COVID. Oh, don't let me get COVID." Whatever the fear is, if you are continually perpetuating fearful habit behaviors, fearful habit thoughts, we need to interrupt those. And one of the biggest ones I keep referencing is that fear of living in discomfort. Pema Chodron also says in the book, we spend much of our time in a cage created by our own fear of discomfort. We spend more time worried about being uncomfortable than we actually spend being uncomfortable. When I had COVID, I was so, like first of all, I was kind of afraid of getting COVID. And then I was for some reason, I was really afraid of losing my taste and my smell. I was, because I have a friend who still hasn't gotten the full faculties back, right? Her smell and her taste are still impaired. I love to eat, y'all. I love to smell the flowers and coffee and whatever. I was like, oh, please don't let me lose my taste. I was perseverating on that fear. And like Job, that which I have fear has come upon me, right? That habitual thinking, that fear of discomfort, there it was. But when you lean into life and you're fully present with what is, and here I am going through this process and reading this book about welcoming the unwelcome all at the same time, and I thought, oh, okay, fine, I'll just lean in. There's, gift in the loss of taste too, I guess. Guess what the gift was? I'm sitting there sipping my tea one day, and my wife says, how's your tea? And I said, honey, I can't taste anything. It's fine, I guess. Thank you for making it. She laughed and she said, wow, you really have lost your taste, huh? That's raw garlic and hot water. So my gift in that particular experience was that raw garlic is one of the most beneficial things you can do for your health. But who wants to eat raw garlic? But when you can't taste it, I'll just sipping away, right? It makes me think of that beautiful song by my friend Bob Sima about no mud, no lotus, right? There's gross and yucky and sticky and yicky and uncomfortable parts of life that we really don't want to embrace. But without the mud, there's not a beautiful lotus flower exploding up to the sky and unfolding with brilliance, unstoppable brilliance, Rinpoche said. We are that. We have to trust our unstoppable brilliance that is the divine moving through us, regardless of circumstance, even the ones that feel, ugh, right? Because what we resist, we feed, we give energy, we absolutely empower the things that we don't even want when we resist them so strongly. So when I'm having a really strong reaction that's not positive to life, I do my best to interrupt that pattern and choose a different way. I remember getting ready for service one morning, and I had this brilliant service picked out. Orchestrated. I was so excited about it. The songs matched the sermon, the talk perfectly. Everything was interwoven, and all of the songs I picked that day were relying on a keyboardist that I had hired because I couldn't play those particular songs on the guitar. Well, practice came and went. The doors opened to the sanctuary, still no keyboardist. Service started, still no keyboardist. I had to completely redo service on the fly, different than I had planned. And I had this moment of just wanting to be so livid and judgmental and blaming of this guy before I even know what's going on in his world, right? Because it affected mine. Ever been there, right? And you just want to lash out. And I just went, for the love of all that's holy. I say that sometimes. For the love of all that's holy. And then I thought, you know what? It all is holy when we choose to see it. For the love of all that's holy. There's a wholeness to life. And instead of perseverating again on that thought of this guy, right? What the heck? Instead, I turned and I went after service and I wrote a song called All That's Holy, because I choose to be in that space of, as Rumi said, wherever you stand, be the soul of that place. Be the unstoppable brilliance, as Rinpoche said. Be that example. Be that example of what's possible. I was telling someone recently that I love going to the post office. and they were like, you're kidding, right? I'm like, no, there's this guy there named John, and I feel better every time I go to the post office. Be that guy, right? Regardless of circumstance, be the person that makes life better in your wake. Like the boat and causes a wake in the background. Like, let your wake be one of joy. But we can't do that when we're living so closed off and protected. And I'll say yes to this part, but not yes to that part. That's saying yes to pieces of life and yes to pieces of God. And then inevitably, you're going to end up with that compartmentalization. You're going to end up thinking that, well, I'm only accepting this much of what's happening in life and only accepting God showing up as good over here and a little bit of God showing up as good over here. And then before you know it, you've created an idea that God only shows up for you in money, or maybe it only shows up for you in health, or maybe in relationships. No, the universe is forming in all ways. and always. So it takes really leaning into that mud though, right? To be the lotus. To be the lotus, we have to lean into the sticky, icky, yucky parts and allow the blossom to come out of that, not judging it, just allowing it, being fully present with it. There's some tools that I used during COVID I'll be happy to share with you. And one is a tool that I use every single day. What am I grateful for today? What am I grateful for today? And you know what? There were some days that all I could think of was I was grateful that I could cough. And I was coughing my head off, so I wasn't really happy about coughing. But I was grateful that I could, because I was cognizant of the fact that some people, if you're paralyzed, for example, some people can't cough. And to have that condition and not be able to cough in many cases is terminal. So I was stretching for anything I could be grateful for, and I was grateful I could cough. I was grateful for Mucinex. I was grateful for cough syrup. I was grateful for my wife. I was grateful for my board. I was grateful for Amy Steinberg coming in and doing her service 3 weeks in a row while I couldn't. I was grateful for all the other people that stepped in while I was out of commission for about 6 weeks. I was grateful. So I chose every day to focus on that gratitude. I also chose to focus on laughter. Oh, if you want to interrupt the patterns that keep you separate from all of life, laugh, y'all. I watched The Golden Girls and I Love Lucy and Andy Griffith and Friends and Seinfeld, and if you name it, I was watching it to make myself laugh, to get back in that energy of levity, joy, and support. Well, think about the people that you surround yourself with. Let's just take the top 5 people that you talk to on a regular basis. What do they talk about? What do you talk about with them? Is it uplifting? Are they people that if you're going through COVID or you're going through a hard time or a breakup or whatever, that they're going to be there for you? Surround yourself with people who set your soul on fire, who lift you up. Make sure you're choosing constantly to have and be a support system. The next tool I had was emptiness. Emptiness doesn't mean being without. It means creating space for God to show up. So I cultivated emptiness, taking time to just be. Now, a lot of times my meditation will consist of focusing on my breath, breathing in. I know I'm breathing in, breathing out. I know I'm breathing out. Or maybe I might do a full body sensory check-in, right? How does my shoulder feel? How are my fingertips feeling? But I'm talking about creating emptiness, just taking time to just be. No agenda, not even with your practice, not even with your meditation. Do you ever do that? Just take time to cultivate the space for the divine to show up in ways that you haven't even thought about yet. So gratitude, laughter, support, emptiness, and trusting your basic goodness, that is the basic goodness, the unstoppable brilliance of the universe moving through you, that God is for me. The universe is for me, always and in all ways. Trusting that. And then every single night, especially, I do this every night anyway, but during COVID, I was really, really hyper vigilant about putting my little I got this little headband that has earphones in it that you can sleep to. It doesn't hurt your ears. Sleep with, and it doesn't hurt your ears. And I would put that on and I would listen to healing vibrations, or I would listen to anything that I wanted to reaffirm for myself. Because the most powerful time to program or reprogram our subconscious mind is right as we're falling asleep and as we're waking up, in that in-between spaces, right? That's the specific brain waves that are the most receptive to that suggestion and possibly a new program that needs to be there, or maybe just reinforcing one. So I used that. I also, just quite simply, the other tool is surrender. Surrendering into that present moment. All of it. It's not always fun, but it's always for you. This is my spiritual practice. This is what I do anyway, but I was super vigilant about it when I was sick. Being mindful that our spiritual practice is so important. And, I always say that when you feel good in your practice, people feel good in your presence. And feeling good in your practice doesn't just mean, check, I meditated today, check, I prayed today. No, feeling good in your practice means you're feeling the divine. You're feeling the presence. Sometimes my practice takes longer than others because I'm in my stuff. And I have to keep making myself lay it down. Lay down the ideas, the fears, the preconceived notions, the ego, whatever the case may be. And just lay it down. So not just yes to life coming to you, but yes to life moving through you. Let's say yes to all of life moving through us, and that includes, where am I being called to give, to serve, to be the face of love, the example of love? What is mine to give and to do? How can I be a person of increase? That's one of the main things I teach in prosperity classes, is always look to be a person of increase. Well, I'm sure, as many of you know over there in Chattanooga, Tennessee, that just up the road, there's a place called Locust Ridge, about 2.5 hours from you, where a woman named Dolly Parton is from. And she's one of my favorite examples of being a person of increase. It's not just her imagination library that she has, or the work that she's done with the vet charity, or the $1 million she gave to coronavirus vaccine through Moderna. There's so many, I couldn't list them all, right? But she is, first and foremost, she's dedicated her life to being that person of increase, that person that leaves the world a better place because she's been in it. I'm a huge fan. But that's the kind of person that I want to be. And when we welcome it all, we live from trusting that basic goodness moving through us, the basic goodness of God, and we therefore trust our basic goodness, our unstoppable brilliance. And we can say yes to all of life, the icky, yucky, dirty, sticky mud, and the beautiful blossoming lotus, knowing that it's all one, it's all part of that divine expression of life. So let go of the compartmentalizing, let go of the, that's good and that's God, but that, not so much. Oh, she's good and she's God, but oh, her, not so much. It's all good, it's all God. Sometimes we just have to look a little bit further past the raw garlic, no honey, to see the healing, the wholeness. For the love of all that's holy, be the love of that place by accepting all of that place called life, all of this place called life. So affirm with me, the universe is for me always and in all ways. One more time. The universe is for me always and in all ways. Also affirm with me, if you would, I say yes to all of life, and all of life says yes to me. I say yes to all of life, and all of life says yes to me. Now let's take this and anchor it in our hearts and in our minds through a few moments of meditation. I say yes to all of life. I trust that all of life says yes to me. I breathe into this now moment, anchoring these words, anchoring this truth as I choose to live from love, to live from a recognition of wholeness, a recognition of holiness, a recognition that I am connected to all of life, and all of life is for me, in all ways, always. And so I trust that I have the ability to make a choice in every moment to interrupt those habitual patterns of negativity and fear of discomfort. And I choose to have faith. I choose to surrender. I choose to cultivate emptiness, that space where I court the divine. I release any and all resistance to life showing up. And I trust, regardless of how it looks or how it feels in any moment, that God is there, holding me, healing me, helping me, always and in all ways. I choose to be a person of increase, to say what is mine to give, what is mine to do, and to be an open vessel, a channel for divine works, thoughts, and deeds, a channel of divine love. So recognizing this truth of oneness, this truth of wholeness, this truth that there is one power and one presence, God the Good by many names. I know that I am one with it, a unique and perfect expression of it, and I choose to live from that awareness, from that willingness to welcome all of life, from that willingness to be an open door for love to pass through. I live in truth and trust, and absolute deep, abiding gratitude. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for the good in my life. I surround myself with people who light the fire of my soul and fan the flames of my genius. I surround myself with people, places, and experiences that remind me of the truth of who I am and whose I am in every moment. I am so grateful. And so I say thank you, beloved God, for this opportunity to speak this word, to know it in my soul, to be it in my life. I am love itself. I am a person of increase. I am unstoppable brilliance. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And so it is.
Thank you to Reverend Christy for reminding us that life doesn't always show up the way we want it to, but there is always a deeper meaning in it with the opportunity to know God better. I hope that you enjoyed today's message, and now is the time in our service where we prepare for our love offerings. This is an invitation for you to partner with us in acknowledging the spiritual laws that we live by, knowing that God is the source of all good in the world, and we are here to participate in the divine activity of giving and receiving. Your donations help this ministry to remain a vital and strong presence in our community and allows us to continue to help us transform the world one life at a time. As you consider your gift today, let's bless them with our affirmation. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love, and I receive in abundance. We send these gifts to go forth, fulfilling the vision and mission of Unity of Chattanooga, and please know that we value and appreciate every one of your donations. And know always that as you give, you will be blessed in greater ways. have a lot of announcements to share with you today, so hang in there with me if you don't mind. First, I want to remind you that at 9:30 we have a Sunday morning meditation on Zoom, and you can find the link to that on our website on the events page. Also, if you're looking for a little midweek spiritual boost, you can watch our midweek Faith Lift podcast with Shannon LeBron and Reverend Doug on our Facebook page on Wednesdays, usually around 4ish. I just love it when these two get together and chit-chat in an impromptu conversation about the work of Spirit unfolding in everyday life. We are still taking collections for our outreach program for the homeless, and there will be a collection box at the next in-person service. You can also donate funds in addition to your regular tithes to the building fund, which continues to grow by leaps and bounds, and I really mean that. We currently have raised $7,500, and we are well on our way to reaching our goal of $10,000. I also want to add that this is a very exciting time for Unity of Chattanooga. We are expanding the opportunity to attend in person, and we'll see how it goes. So starting March 6th through the entire month of March and the entire month of April, we will be meeting in person at the Red Bank Community Center. And know that we will also be streaming the service on Facebook. Also, at the last annual membership meeting last week, the board made an amazing announcement. I'm excited to tell you that Rev Doug has agreed to become our interim minister. In March, he'll start us off by doing a series on the 5 basic unity principles. And let me tell you, in life, there is nothing more important than having a good foundation to stand upon. And for any of you who are thinking that you might like to become a member at Unity of Chattanooga, we are planning to offer a new members class in Zoom sometime in the future. If you're interested, please let us know by sending an email to contact@unityofchattanooga.org. You are also welcome to attend these classes if you just want to know more about Unity and are not thinking about becoming a member. And in March, we are adding a new activity to our Sunday lineup. Laura Noyes will be offering a new class called Mindful Moving Meditation, and it will be from 10:30 to 10:45 on Sundays at the Red Bank Community Center. This will be a guided meditation of gentle movements as we bless our spiritual and physical bodies. So, as we bring today's service to a close, let us say our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And now, here is Christy Snow one more time to sing us out with a reminder that no matter what shows up on your doorstep this week, it's all holy. God bless.
Thank you again for having me join you this morning. It was such an honor and a privilege. Look forward to the next time. Join me, if you will, in closing out this service with a song I wrote all about It's All Holy. Peace is powerful, real power is peaceful, and faith really can move mountains. So wherever you stand, be the soul of that place. Wherever you stand, be the love of that place. Wherever you stand, reflect the wholeness of the holy. For the love of all that's holy, for the love of all that's holy, for the love, the truth, and the holy, for this I stand. For the love of all that's holy, 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 I stand. Let the beauty you love be what you show. Let the power of love shine through. Bring your whole self to life, and life rushes to meet you. To thine own self be true. So wherever you stand, be the soul of that place. Wherever you stand, be the love of that place. Wherever you stand, reflect the wholeness of the holy. For the love of all that's holy, for the love of all that's holy, for the love, the truth, and the holy, for this I stand. For the love of all that's holy, 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 for the love of all that's holy, 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 I stand. Wherever you stand, be the soul of that place. I stand. I love you, I bless you, and I thank you. Take care.